Hear the word narcissist, our minds usually jump to someone loud, arrogant, always chasing the spotlight, right? But what if I told you the most damaging narcissists, they aren't the ones we can easily spot? What if they're actually hidden in plain sight, absolute masters of subtle manipulation? Let's pull back that curtain and see what's really going on.
We're about to challenge a huge stereotype here, because that person in your life who leaves you feeling totally confused, drained, and just questioning your own sanity, they might not be the obvious villain you'd expect.
And there it is. That's the hook. The one who's always playing the victim. The one who seems so fragile, so misunderstood. This is the world of the covert narcissist, and honestly, understanding it is absolutely critical if you want to protect your own mental peace.
Okay, so first things first, let's just deconstruct everything we think we know. We're going to really dive into this hidden personality type, the one that operates in the shadows.
Now take a look at this, because this slide just lays out the contrast so perfectly. On one side, you've got the classic overt narcissist. That's the myth we all know. They're loud, they need that spotlight, and they have zero problem putting you down to your face. But then, look at the other side, the reality. The covert narcissist comes off as quiet, maybe even insecure. They don't want the spotlight, they want your pity. They use this false humility like a shield, and their criticism, it's not a direct hit. It's like a slow, subtle poison.
And this is where the real damage gets done. Because dealing with a covert narcissist isn't about some big explosive fight. Nope. It's about a slow burn, a gradual erosion of how you see yourself. It's all about the emotional residue they leave behind.
Does any of this sound familiar? This is what we call their emotional footprint. It's not clean-cut anger or frustration. It's this fog of confusion. You feel exhausted, but you can't quite put your finger on why. You start to second-guess everything, your memories, your feelings. And they are masters at making you feel like you're the problem, that you're just being too sensitive. And somehow, underneath it all, there's this weird, nagging need to get their approval back.
So, how do they do it? How do they create this fog? Well, they have a very specific set of tools, a kind of psychological arsenal. They're like ghosts in the machine, manipulating the whole system without ever leaving a single obvious fingerprint.
First on the list is the accidental insult. This is the classic backhanded compliment, or that joke that just stings a little too much. It sounds something like, "Wow, I'm so impressed you landed that job. I never really saw you as someone who could handle all that detail." See? If you get upset, they'll just act shocked and say they were complimenting you. It's perfectly and intentionally deniable. And then you have their signature move, the strategic pity play. The second you try to call them out on their behavior, they immediately flip the script and become the victim. All of a sudden, it's about their traumatic past or how nobody ever understands them. It completely deflects the blame and makes you feel guilty for even bringing it up.
And then there's the silence. An overt narcissist might yell and scream, but a covert narcissist, they punish you with withdrawal. They'll just ignore your texts, become cold, distant, and make you feel totally invisible. It forces you to scramble, trying to fix a problem you don't even understand, just desperate to get back in their good graces.
And this just shows so perfectly how these tactics aren't random at all. They are part of a predictable and pretty devastating cycle. First, idealization. They put you on a pedestal. You're the best thing ever. Then comes the subtle devaluation, with those little criticisms and accidental insults. Once you're feeling unsteady, they discard you, often making it seem like you've hurt them. And then, right when you start to feel okay again, they come back, not with an apology, but with a pity story designed to hoover you right back into the chaos.
But the big question is, why? Why do all of this? This really brings us to the heart of the matter, their ultimate goal. And I gotta tell you, it's much, much darker than just wanting to be in control. We tend to think manipulation is about controlling what a person does, but for the covert narcissist, the goal is way more insidious than that.
Just let that sink in for a second. To dismantle your reality. They don't just want you to do what they want. They want to completely break down your ability to trust your own mind. They want to be the one and only narrator of your life.
And their number one tool for this job is gaslighting. It's them saying things like, "That never happened," or "You're just being hysterical," or "You're remembering it all wrong." Over time, this constant invalidation makes you question literally everything until you become completely dependent on their version of what's real. Does that sound at all familiar?
Okay, so when you're facing that kind of deep psychological attack, how in the world do you fight back? Well, the answer isn't to play their game. It's to reclaim your own focus. It's time to build up your own defenses.
The first, and honestly the most powerful step, is to stop focusing on them and start focusing on you. It begins with trusting your gut. That confusing, uneasy feeling you get, that's your compass. That's your signal telling you to pull back. Start observing their behavior like a scientist instead of absorbing it like a sponge. You have to anchor yourself in your own reality.
So if there is one thing, just one thing, you take away from all this, let it be this. After all the gaslighting, all the manipulation, you have to hold on to this truth like your life depends on it. Your feelings are valid. Your memories are valid. Your reality is valid. That is your anchor in the storm they create, period.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to really think about. Just take a look at the people in your life. Who leaves you feeling energized and seen and confident? And who consistently leaves you feeling small, confused, and second-guessing your own mind? The answer to that question? Well, it just might change everything for you.